Hello musici, welcome to this new video. Today let's answer some very interesting questions about solmization. So we are here in this chapter and of the solmization course, and there are some questions I want to share with you because they are really interesting and there are a lot of things that you can that we can learn and discuss about. So this is the screen with a question by Raul from Spain. Hello Raul. Hi Ricardus, I have three general questions of solmization and I put them here because it's the first general video of the course. Exactly, so we are in the grade scale section where you can learn how the grade scale works. Actually, it's 1.3. So we are here where you learn the grade scales is the topic of this lesson. The first question is the following. When we read stuff in non-familiar clef, not treble clef or bass clef, so not modern clefs, do we need to first learn the letters with our modern fixed do solfeggio and then putting solmization syllables, or learning first only the letters and the syllables in the Renaissance or Baroque periods? What did they do? Okay, this answer is very quick to answer. As I say in the videos about in chapter 2 about the exercises, where there are exercises, mutations, and practice in B-dur, B-hard, in this case, the thing you have to do is a double process. First of all, put the letters, then put the syllables. Let's see a practical example. So now this is for the other question. So let's go here in let's go in recording where I record the course solmization. Okay, let's go back to the start, not not to the start but almost the start here. Okay, here we have some exercises. So as you can see, this is just an example. This is an exercise from the course. Now, if you watch this lesson, I put the letters and only then I put the syllables. So how do you have to do? First of all, decode the melody. So you have a melody. Let's do one exercise together. We have this melody. We have some letters. So the first clef is a Che sol fa ut clef, and so we have Che sol fa ut, De sol re, E la mi, Ge sol re ut, A la mi re. Now the keyboard is not tuned. Then Be fa be mi, Che sol fa ut, Ge sol re ut, A la mi re. So first of all, put the letters right. C, Che sol fa ut, D, E, G, A, and go on. Then start from the beginning and put syllables. Now you know that Che can be Sol, Fa, or Ut. Only three possibilities. Here we don't have the soft hexachord. So Chi can be Fa, Fa, Mi, Re, Ut, or Ut, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. It cannot be Sol, Fa, Mi, because we don't have the B flat. So or Fa or Ut. If we are ascending, we'll tend to use ut re mi, because remember I said this in another lesson. We have ut re mi for ascending and la sol fa for descending. We are ascending, so che ut re mi sol la sol, and then you can continue mi fa sol la re sol mi fa sol, because we have the mutation in the middle. Re mi fa sol, re mi fa sol, mi fa sol. So this is the process. First of all, put the letters and then the syllables. Don't do any comparison between modern solfeggio with fixed do and ancient and solmization. Don't say that this is a do in modern solfeggio and a ut, or this is in solmization, or this is let's say that this is a re in modern solfeggio and sol in solmization, because this way you can only get confused. But you letters in order to indicate the position on the grade scale. So this is a D. Think like in English, in the English system, which is actually Italian, because all English people, so all European people stole a lot of things for Italy. Even the Mona Lisa is not anymore here, but you know that we don't are so friendly with French. Of course, I'm joking, of course. But you know, this we used to say that this is the Anglo-Saxon system, or how it is called, the English system, but this is the Latin system, the Italian system with letters from Boetius. So think that this is a D, And at the same time, so not or, but and at the same time, this is even sol, because it's descending sol, mi, fa, sol, this way. Okay, this is the answer to your first question, which is a very interesting question. Now, let's come back to the second question, so let's go on. The other questions, could you do a video, only if you can and you want, of course, about a short story of how musici pratici read notes until our modern times? I have this doubt because I read a lot of treatises of many countries reading this subject, and I can see similarities, but it is a little confusing. Are notes read, for example, che or che solfaut? Are notes read mi, che sharp or cheese? And the last note, the last one, then we have another question. Okay, about this question, I would say that I'm not a musicologist, so I I don't know very deeply about the history. Okay, the historical process. I teach how to do in that period. What we can say without any doubt is that up to the 18th century, the solmization technique was still used. So the double thinking with letters and syllables. Even in organ treatises, for example, I prepared a couple of examples here. The ones, so they are here. Okay. One example is this book of the 1710 by Samber. Here we have so 1710. We are at the beginning of the 18th century, and here's solmization in German. This is a German book. Is still taught with the double system. As you can see, letter and syllables here, and then you can enjoy this book. I mean, I put the link in the description, even with a lot of musica ficta. Then there are simple examples, there are some exercises you can even do as additional exercises for the course that you are following, solmization course. Then you can even practice with two flats. As you can see, there are mutations, mutatio, ut re mi fa sol, re mi fa, with the mutation of fourth and fifth, as you can learn in the course, and even with a lot of musica ficta and the complementary clefs. That we talk about the complementary clefs, but here we have a lot of combinations. If you want to do even farther and very hard exercises, because here you have four flats, so then you can practice with scales, with three sharps. So this is a book where you can find a lot of other things this way. And so as you can see, they still use this double system. It's even true that we are in the 1710 and Samber seems to be more conservative. Okay, we have another book by Samber, which is let's see, where is it? No, which is this one. No, this is the Sabatini, the other one. But there is another book by Samber, which is the Continuatio. This one. Let's open it, because even this is very interesting. This is a book about basso continuo, and it is later. So we are in the 1724, and here harmony, so basso continuo, harmony, counterpoint, let's say, is taught with solmization. That's very interesting. How this is taught. This is a book about which we can make some videos, maybe on pattern as improvisation elements. Now I have to think, because there are a lot of projects which are open, like suite and dances and other things, so one thing at a time. But this book is structured this way. You have Samber provides a simple bass, for example this one, re mi fa sol la, with solmization starting from a re. So we know that Samber in 1724, because this book was published in 1724, used to read with solmization, and then you have the same scale, re mi fa sol la, transposed to many other keys, even with the musica ficta, two flats, four flats, as you can see, always re mi fa sol la, re mi fa sol la, even from B flat, as you can see, and several ways to indicate, the notes, to indicate the harmony, the harmonization. Then another interesting source is Sabatini. This is interesting because at this point you can see that Sabatini says that there is the sistema antico, the ancient system, as you can read here, ossia, which is with mutazioni, con mutazioni, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and so do, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, corrispondenza dei salti compresi nelle due descritte scale, so the correspondence of the lips within the two scales, the hexachords, i quali, essendo composti dagli medesimi intervalli, vengono perciò intonati dalle medesime sillabe, because since they are composed by the same intervals, they are sung with the same syllables in terms of the two hexachords, if you think to the two hexachords, okay? So do, re, mi, fa, do, for example, do, re, mi, fa, if you continue applying the rules. But so we have the sistema antico, the solmization, and we have the sistema moderno, the modern system, ossia, so without mutations, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, and we can see do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, re, mi, and mi, re, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Corrispondenza dei salti, and then you have the lips here, salti di terza, third, so sol, si, la, do, si, re, and do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, while in the other system, do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol. You are in the same, you are in another hexachord, so but you use the same syllables. Here you do without mutations. So in this period, and with Sabatini, we are, let's see the period, we are with Sabatini in, so this is mille, then we have 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 89, 1789, so 50 years later, Samber is in Germany, Sabatini is in Italy. We know that they used this double system at the end of the 18th century in Italy. Now, if you want a more detailed thing, I think that the book, so the solfeggio tradition, in this case is what you need. I have some criticism about this book, especially from the practical point of view, because there are not so many exercises. But I cannot say anything about the musicological research, because this is the main purpose of that book, which is the solfeggio tradition. The solfeggio tradition, which is very focused on the okay, there is the Amazon link here. Okay, the historical period, the passage from the ancient system, even to Sabatini, because Sabatini, he talks about Sabatini. So this is what I suggest that you read to better answer your question, okay? Because it's more a musicological question than practical, since you talk about history. What I can say is that this system that you learn with solmization is used for the entire period, from the Middle Ages to even the 18th century. Now, the last question, and the last one, when composing, are musicians used to read notes and chords only with letters like the C major chord in the first inversion, E, G, C, or read Mi, Sol, Fa? I think that when singing they used to read with syllables, but writing chords with letters. But I'm not sure, because in German treatises of the late 18th century they do not mention anything regarding how to name notes like when singing, like we do in our first modern classes of conservatories, how Mozart, Bach, Boccherini read notes. I showed you something similar in the previous two books. So this is a very interesting thing, because this is a book, the Samber book is a book for basso continuo. So it is supposed to be used to learn accompaniment, and so composition, partimento. And here Samber, we are in 1724. Remember, uses solmization. It's even true that you can use both systems. So with solmization, re mi fa sol re mi, for example, re mi fa sol re mi, you can use letters, intervals. You can say, okay, the sixth over a mi, or you can even see the sixth over e, for example. So the main answer would be all of this. If you can connect the syllable system with the letter system on the great scale, with even the interval system, so for example the sixth over E, the seventh over F, which is E. This is very useful because you can connect all the dots and you can have a very clear picture of the entire situation. Then, about this, you're asking me about composition and how to read. I so by reading, so you mentioned some books of the late 18th century. I don't know what books. Have you read German treatises? I don't know what books of the late 18th century. That is the book of the early 18th century. But an approach which consists of of a wider point of view with all the three systems is the best one. This is. Then I should do more research about this, okay? But the point is that if they learn this way, because we have the book they used to learn music, so like Sabatini or Samber or the others, this of course is the way they used to learn, and so they used to compose. It cannot be different. You don't know, so it's not possible that you learn in a way and the teacher write the books to teach in that way to learn music. Okay, it's the same thing, it's the same process. This is the mental deduction I can do. Okay, thank you very much, and sorry about the long questions. Yes, they are long but interesting questions. I cannot answer all in detail, of course, even because, especially the second question, which is more musicological. I'm not a musicologist, I'm a musicus practicus, so I don't have the skills to to do so a short, even a short story, because I'm not an historian, okay, of music. But in the solfeggio tradition and other book, I'm totally sure you can find a lot of solution, a lot of interesting clues and questions and interesting things you can enjoy. And as you can see, so the books and the course are something complementary, because in the course you have thousands of exercises. In the book you have the historical point of view from Cantus Firmus to Sabatini, and maybe even later. Now I don't remember. So these are the questions. If you to all other musici want to learn solmization, go to to musicuspracticus.com. I show you here where you can join. You can go to courses, solmization, the first part of solmization, the first level, which is the first level of the Renaissance path. You can learn theory scale, mutations. You can learn how to do mutation, a lot of practice, exercises, advanced practice with banchieri, with di ruta, a lot with musica ficta, and then hexacorda solfeggio, where we practice in Baroque style. You have 103 stages in video lessons, 200 PDFs, you can comment like Raul, and a lot of resources. Then there are other things. You can start the first two levels free, you just have to create an account, and then you can continue with the subscription and all the courses, all the paths. Okay, so these are my answers, and I hope that now you have a better vision, so a clearer point of view and vision of all these things, and there may be things where we don't know actually very precisely how they did, but considering the influence of church music, and so of the church education to all musicians, so it is even good to suppose that if they studied Cantus Firmus, they studied solmization, and they used to think this way. Remember that even in France, so France is a Catholic country, they had Cantus Firmus because of the Catholic liturgy, so to sing Cantus Firmus they learned solmization. And if they thought music this way in church music, a similar process can be done in, let's say, secular composition, because the mental process is the same, the notes are the same. So this is all. See you in another video, and to learn the things, to learn Renaissance music and Baroque music as if you lived in the Renaissance or in the Baroque, join the MPA Musicus Practicus Academy and start today learning solmization, cantus firmus, tones and modes, cantus figuratus, and all the other things I'm adding in the next months.